the frustration and the heat that you were experiencing a couple of days ago after I egged Conor.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you actually glassed him, mate.
I understand.
And that's why I nearly got my hand around your throat.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you did put your hand on my neck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a pass because of what happened, but I'm just letting you know, if your hand ever touches me again, you won't get it back.
Shut your fucking mouth. Do you hear me?
No.
Can't. Do you hear me? Threaten my dad.
He couldn't look on a
Hey, silly bollocks. Threaten my dad again. Watch what happens to you.
I'm more confident in this fight than I had with me and Chris Senior. I just feel that Conor's just going to go out there, mate, and just give it to him, put it on him. And I know he would do that. I'm 100% confident in Conor doing that. I'm so relaxed, so sure. I know what my son can do. He's actually the best, a much better fighter than me. I could never box like Conor. I was just going in and have a bang. I just want to have a war. But Conor's got all him in his locker, mate. Every single thing. I'm so confident. I don't see it going past 4 rounds.
Like what, you're lucky you're fine. Tomorrow I'll fuck you up right now.
Yeah. You see this guy comes in when I'm cutting weight.
Oh, comes in when he comes out. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow after the fight. I'll see you tomorrow after the fight.
Good. You get in that ring.
Yeah, what? Get in that ring. I'll get in that ring and fucking give it to you.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, of course, mate.
We'll see.
You're fucking lucky you're fighting tomorrow.
You'll see.
You're lucky, mate.
We'll see.
Get your hand off me.
No, it's okay, let him come close, man. I like this. I like this energy.
The energy is high as Chris Eubank Jr. gives a strong warning to Nigel Benn during their press talk. Things were already tense after the famous egg issue with Conor Benn, but what happened next made it even worse. Eubank Jr. looked angry as he spoke directly to Nigel Benn and gave him a clear message: if you ever touch me again, you won't get your hand back. These words were not just a warning, they were a serious threat.
The mismatch, you know, the build-up has been a mismatch, you know, and
is that because Chris is too big? Do you think?
I don't think it's necessarily well, you know, it's obviously the size at a different weight class. You know, in boxing there's different weight classes, and you fight your weight. And Chris is, as well as being bigger, has fought at a much higher level.
To be honest with you, like at the end of the day, the reality is, winning is worth a lot more than 100 grand. I think if we do something for charity, whatever, I think it would be nice.
Eddie, he said that he feels that he's getting paid, if not more than Conor Benn, around the same. What do you make on that?
Who?
That was
Ben Shalom.
First of all,
he's making double-digit millions for this fight. If
first
so,
of all,
Chris Eubank needs to sue him. Eubank Jr. is a tough man, and Conor Benn is an animal with a hot head. And as soon as that bell goes, you've only got to watch Nigel Benn's fights and Conor Benn's fights in his career so far to realise he's going to set about him from the first bell. And no one's giving in.
The room went silent as everyone realized that this was no longer just about the egg. It had become personal. Conor Benn, standing nearby, was clearly upset, stuck between his father and his opponent. It felt like things could explode at any moment. Nigel Benn made a big statement before his son's fight with Chris Eubank Jr. He believes Conor Benn is not just better than him, but also better than Eubank Jr. Nigel admitted he was always a fighter who relied on strength, while Conor is a complete boxer with many skills. He is so confident that he predicts Conor will knock out Eubank Jr. in just 4 rounds.
Doesn't align, but
do you think he'll be there for the fight?
I think he could potentially be there. Yeah, I think I don't think it would take too much for him to be there. It's just a few conversations and things to be worked out in between, I'm sure. But yeah, it's you know, it's obviously a fight that, you know, Chris Eubank Jr. is carrying the promotion alone, you know, at the moment. So
why do you say that?
Because he is the one that's engaged the public in this fight.
And I'm also very close with Conor Benn. He's a good pal of mine, so it's very hard for me to sort of sit back and say this or say that. I think they're doing a fantastic job in selling their fight. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. They both obviously have the needle with each other, and they're both going to give it everything. So be prepared for war, and I hope they get out of the ring safe and sound.
This is not just talk, it's a challenge to the Eubank family. Ben believes his son will prove he is the best and finally settle the long rivalry between the two families. What do you think? Will Conor Benn prove his father right? Let us know in the comments. Meanwhile, at the weigh-in, things got even more heated. Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn exchanged harsh words while standing face-to-face. "You're lucky we're fighting tomorrow. Otherwise, I'd take care of you right now," Eubank Jr. said. Benn, full of anger, shouted back, "I'll see you tomorrow in the ring. I'll give you everything I have." Security had to step in to stop things from getting worse.
Fight. You know, for all the promotion, for all the nonsense, for all the crap, you've got two fighters here. Might not be for a world title, but if you want to see a scrap, you're going to see one, because these two like to fight. Look at their careers. They are the fighters. They are the brawlers. They love it. And they only know one way. And that's what's going to happen on April 26th. They're going to meet in the ring, in the centre of the ring, and they're going to go off. And that's why the casual fans are going to love this fight.
Actually, a good thing sometimes to have a little bit of weight to train off. Not a lot, but you know, and I think that's what Eubank's got. Whereas Conor is already at the weight, or there or thereabouts. So that's also a benefit in the sense like he can now just completely fuel his training and fuel his performance. But it's always going to favour the bigger man. It's always going to favour the bigger man. But age is the biggest factor for me in this fight.
This fight is more than just a match. It's about family, history, and proving who is the better fighter. Both men want to win, and neither is willing to step back. Outside the ring, people are also fighting about money. Promoters Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom had a heated argument over how much the fighters should be paid. Shalom said winning is more important than money, while Hearn argued that if Conor Benn is getting paid more than Eubank Jr., Eubank should take legal action.
It's quite difficult sometimes, especially if you're dry like Chris Eubank. He will struggle to stay within that £10 limit. I have a feeling he won't do it. I have a feeling he'll agree to it, he'll pay a fine and maybe weigh in 15 or 16 pounds over.
Who did he fight recently and he looked like he was completely dead at the weight?
His last fight.
Was it Liam Smith, the first one?
Yeah.
He looked like he looked awful.
Brutal. And that's how hard it is to make. That's why I think it's kind of the rehydration clause puts things slightly more into Conor Benn's favour, which is unfair.
I think the difficulty for Conor Benn in this fight is the weight and is the size. I think he's a better fighter. And I think at a natural weight class, he's a big favourite in the fight. But coming up 2 weight classes, it makes it a 50-50 fight.
Eubank Jr. is his own man, and that's what he's always tried to make out. This is me, this is my career, and this is how I do things. Dad, that was your era, that was your time, blah, 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 let me do this. But I'm sure he'd love to have him sat ringside watching him.
This fight is not just about boxing. It's about pride, money, and legacy. Will Eubank Jr.'s experience help him win? Or will Benn's youth and hunger be too much? The answer will come in the ring. One thing is for sure. This fight will be explosive. Like, comment, and subscribe for more boxing news.